What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Rob Dyer, and you're watching Road to Pro Co-Angler with Rob Dyer. Today we're going to be talking about bargains, how to fish on a bargain, practice plugs, and what channels I follow. And we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to thank my sponsors and companies that I'm pro staff for. So not to forget anybody. First, Quantum Fishing. Quantum Fishing rods and reels. Go to quantumfishing.com. You too can own a Quantum Fishing Acurus. This is the 7-foot Acurus, medium heavy, fast. I've got some Seaguar 12-pound. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Seaguar 15-pound fluorocarbon with the Berkeley Stunner 112 on it. It's a fast, and I really like it. And if you've watched my videos, you've seen me use it at Gunnersville. So go to quantumfishing.com, check them out. They got more than just bait casters. They got spinning rods. You can buy the rods separately. You can buy the reels separately. Just check them out, quantumfishing.com. Next, pro staff, Angler Tungsten. Can't say enough about these guys. I am on their pro staff, and I use their weights specifically and exclusively. Angler Tungsten. These are the covert skinny green, and these are quarter ounce, not quarter inch. These ones are the Combat Skinny Black 3/8. These are the Combat Tier Black 3/8 and Combat Tier Black quarter. As you can tell, I like to throw 3/8 and quarters. Occasionally I'll throw some halves, but mainly for my drop shots, I like using 3/8 and quarters. Barefoot Fishing. Got to give them a shout out too, because I'm pro staff for them. I cannot forget them. Waiting on my pro staff shirt to come in, as well as some hooks that I get to try out. They're in a beta testing, and I get to do a review on those. I got those coming, and I'm actually going to use them during my tournament. So not only are they're going to get a review, but you're going to actually see these hooks being used. So let's look forward to that. Into the meat and potatoes, as everybody says today. We're going to start with bargains. Well, with inflation going up, or prices going up, which is inflation, and your value of your products are relatively comparison. All right, so what I mean by that is the Senkos. Those products, when they first hit the market, were top of the line. Now everybody's making them. Heck, I make something similar to that here. It's got goat flake in there. Check out that video, goat flake. You're gonna laugh about it. As well as everybody makes crawls, including myself. What does that mean? Well, everybody makes what everybody else has, because this is an industry. It doesn't just work like that. Now, it doesn't just go for bait. Now we're going to talk about storage. Okay, everybody knows Plano is the top of the line, okay? But let's be honest here. I can't afford Planos. Well, I can't afford to buy a lot of Planos. This one is the 3700 series. It says it right there. I don't know why I couldn't see that. I guess I need to get my eyes checked again. I'm blind. Help me. So 3700 series. This is what 99% of us use on tournaments, or even me before I started doing tournaments again. I just use them to store my baits. Why? Keeps everything organized, especially with crank baits like the Stunner or the rattle traps and so forth. It's an easy way to keep it organized and not have them everywhere and have hooks linking up together and so forth. Well, you don't have to, but I have to, because I'm on a budget. I have to look at pricing. And Cabelas like they do most every spring, had a sale going on. Cabelas Bass Pro, they had a sale going on where you can buy 4 of their items for $10. Well, I went down to my local Cabelas and most of them were about this size here compared to the 3700s, similar that of. They didn't have any in stock. They were sold out. So I went ahead and picked up like some 3600s or whatever. And I'm walking around and I found these. These are made by Flamblue or whatever, Flamblue, I can't pronounce it. But it's got the Cabelas on it. And I paid 18 bucks for these 3700s here. Okay, or their model number 5007 cab. I paid 18 bucks for these. That's a hell of a deal, considering how much tackle we end up as fishermen end up getting. You know, I can hear my wife now. Why do you need so much tackle? Well, because I like it, 1, but 2, it allows us to continue to do what we love. Next, the rod gloves. Yes, protect your eyelets on your poles, but let's be honest, these are like 8 bucks, 8, 9 bucks, depending on what you get. And this is the rod glove. Well, while I was down there at Cabelas, because that's what I have by me, once again, Bass Pro Cabela had a sock. I had these rod socks going on sale. 4 bait casters and 2 spinning rod socks, basically the 6-pack, basically the same material with some heat shrink over the ends to keep them coming unraveled, flipped over and so forth. I spent 20 bucks and got 6 of them. So comparing that to this, it's a hell of a bargain. I can't pass it up. And if you're on a budget like I am, let's face it, you need every little dollar because gas prices are going up and we got to travel. The next thing I want to talk about is practice plugs. And the reason why I'm talking about this is it leads into our next subject of YouTube channels I watch and so forth. But plastic plugs. This one here and this one are 1/2 ounces. So instead of tightening a bait on, and then I've got on this a 3/8 that is tied on because I was out earlier this week. It allows me, because I'm on a budget and I can't afford to be breaking baits or just tying jigs on and putting little things like my missile baits on there or Cincos and so forth. It allows me to practice, and all I do is when I'm done I just cut it off, throw it on my bench and go to my tournaments and tie on my weights or tie on my actual lures. They're really inexpensive and you can get them at basically any sporting goods store. Hell, I think I got these at like Walmart or Target or something like that a couple years ago. So get you some practice, and that ties into my channels I follow. Now this is important, okay? So the channels that I follow all have something to do with bargain shopping, getting the best equipment at the lowest prices possible. Practice plugs. Why practice plugs? Well, they all cover some sort of technique as well. And then we get into storage and how they fish it and so forth. The first one I'm going to mention is Maxxbassn. Maxxbassn, M-A-X-S space or M-A-X-X-B-A-S-S-I-N. I work with one of them. There's 2 gentlemen on it, and I work with one of them. And matter of fact, half of the Maxxbassn, the one I work with, was on my very first video. Even though it was a really short video, he actually helped me set up my channel and walked me through everything. And him and I still communicate on my videos what I need to do and so forth. So the community does more than just gives you how-tos. We help each other when we can. So that's a plug for him, man. He puts out a lot of great content. They do comparisons, they do reviews, they do giveaways. Like I think they just gave away a Shimano reel a couple weeks ago. Plus they did an unboxing from Monster Bass. Sent them a box. They did a review and a reveal. They did some ice fishing content and so forth. Great guys. Check out their channel if you want. Another one I follow is Ty from BassFishingHQ, or as I call it, Bass Fishing Headquarters, but it's BassFishingHQ. He has awesome content. Now, his videos are sponsored by another company, and that company has constantly got sales going on. And if you click below his links in his descriptions, it will actually take you to there, and there's some more deals. Matter of fact, I just spent, what was it? Friday, I just bought like $50 worth of stuff from them, and it cost me like 30 bucks. And that's with shipping, and so I'll have that before my next tournament. He does reviews on comparisons as far as, let's say if I was a bait company, right now I only make for myself. So let's say he takes the Rob Dyer versus the road to going pro Rob Dyer, and he compares these two, actually using them on the size of the fish he catches and so forth. He has technique videos. I mean, he's the one that's his videos, and another one that I'm going to cover here in a minute. I watch them for a lot. He gives his videos are really detailed, broken down, and I mean, they are Barney-fied enough where I can understand them. If anybody was in the military, you understand Barney-fine. That means KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Okay. And he's constantly got links in there. He goes over his rod and reel and so forth. And I'm not to that point yet where I'm still trying to figure out how to get quantumfishing.com in there and linking it to my descriptions and so forth. But yeah, they go into it. Now, I'll mention some names here. B-Lat, Ott Defoe. When I say B-Lat, I'm talking about Brian Latimer, Ott Defoe, MJD, Mark Daniels Jr., Bradley Holman. These are pros, and I'm watching their stuff. Ott Defoe, I watched his videos on spooling and stuff like that. I'm constantly watching all these guys. They all have techniques that they're teaching. Nothing miraculously different about anybody else. It's just their styles and what they have to offer and how they explain it. I learned how to tie an FG knot off of Ott Defoe. Now, he uses a loop and a tie around his because he's left-handed. I'm left-handed, but I do 90% of everything right-handed. But he ties it off down at the bottom. I thought that was unique. But all these guys have something. Bradley Holman, he just did a walkthrough through the Phoenix boat plant. Awesome, dude. That place is awesome. This guy reaches it, he responds to his viewers. This is what we're looking at. It's in that community, and we all have to come together and watch this stuff. We don't have to, but the world's a better place when we all work together. Now, these are just a few of the channels that I watch. Every one of them shows you basically the same content, but just in a different view. And everyone teaches differently, and you get your on the water stuff, and we all do reviews on how we did or what we did wrong. And everybody, that title, everybody's doing the Cinco wrong, or what you're doing wrong with this crawl and that crawl and the goat flake and so forth. It's all to help everybody become a better fisherman. Are we trying to get that #1 spot and hit that elite? Well, these guys, the 5 that I mentioned, B-Lad, Defoe, MJD, Marjano Jr., Bradley Hallman, are all on that elite plane already. I'm just trying to get a piece of the tackle warehouse and work my way up to elite. That would be awesome. That is my life's dream, is to hit the elite status, but it's a stepping stone. Like I said, 5 years ago, I was just on the bank fishing and I didn't want to be around anybody. And now I'm actually spending the money, doing these tournaments, and I'm trying to improve myself. And I still watch these videos, and I'm still all back using these practice plugs, you know, practicing my pitching, practicing my flipping, and so forth. And we're going to go through that, not this video, but more into the spring, because these guys have been creating this information. All I'm trying to do is regurgitate my knowledge, because I'm like a sponge. I try to absorb it. I'm trying to regurgitate it so you can understand it, and so forth, you know, because my goal is fishing relieves stress. Now, I began because these guys, since I started, gave me the motivation and helped with my drive to start creating, and that's why I'm doing this. And if it wasn't for these guys, I wouldn't be doing it, because this is hard work, creating, editing, and getting you content every week. It's not like I sit in the house like, oh, I'll talk about this week. I don't just like talking. Right now, it's kind of cold. Everything's soaking wet from the rain. I'm waiting for grass to start growing, you know, because spring's right around the corner, the spawn, and I can't wait for that. I should be down in Del Hollow coming up during the spawn. So I enjoy it though. So let's look to the future. What's upcoming? Well, upcoming in 2 weeks, I have Del Hollow Central Division Toyota Series tournament. Then at the end of April, the Hoosier Trail begins. So last weekend, Hoosier Trail. Then the following week, I go to Lake Chickamauga, which is another Toyota Series event for the Central Division. Then I come back to another Hoosier Trail on that next weekend. Then I'm gonna have to do an Illini. My wife don't know yet, but we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to get into an Illini in June. And I'm gonna try to do a bunch of other ones around my area, and then I got 3 more Hoosier Trails, then the wild card hopefully, and then the championship and so forth, the All-American hopefully, and so forth. There are more series, more trips coming, and I have to get one more Toyota Series trip in, because they got the rule, do 4, you lose your worst one. Well, my worst one so far has been Chickamauga. Wasn't able to weigh the baby fish. If you look here, he wasn't able to be weighed, so no points. Once we hit 100, right now we're at 26. Once we hit 100, this is a giveaway. We the people, American flag with the M4. Let's get 100 subscribers and do that. When I hit 200, I'm getting a rod and reel from Quantum Fishing. I will be giving it away. These will be random. We're at 26 right now, so let's get the word out. Let's get more people involved. I want to do these giveaways. For every 100 people we get, I plan on doing a giveaway. So we get 100 people, I'm gonna do a giveaway. We did 200, I'm gonna give a giveaway. We get 500, I'll do another giveaway. Then when we hit 1,000, you see what I'm saying? So 100, 200, then 500, 1,000, 10,000, 15. These are gonna be milestones for us. So let's get the names out there. Let's get my channel out there. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. I don't care. Like this video, subscribe, and check it out. Next week we'll be prepping for our trip to Del Hollow. So it'll be a short video. I'll go through some of the baits that we're going to use and so forth that I plan on using while we're here in the man cave. And then that's it. All right. And then once next week comes and passes on Tuesday, I'll be gone fishing. But yeah, let's check it out. Share the video, teach someone how to fish. Check out these other channels and subscribe and get your friends and so forth. Let's get this channel pushed out. All right, so just like all my subscribers, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down there. Let's go ahead and give a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, let's go ahead and subscribe. Check us out. Join our little bitty community. Let's grow it. And leave a message. I'll get back to you. Nobody leaves messages. Come on. Everybody else gets messages on our channel. Why can't I get one? But yeah. So, all right. You all have a great week. Peace.